Hello crafty friends, welcome to my channel and to day 18 of Die Cut December. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to create a birthday card for you using these dies. I've got a leafy branch die, a butterfly die and a butterfly body die. My card blank is made of hammered white cardstock and it is 8 1/4 wide by 5 inches high. I've got a panel to pop on top of that, which is just about 1/4 inch smaller all the way around. I've got a strip of paper that I'm going to do some die cutting from, and again this is hammered white cardstock, and a die cut butterfly. So the first thing I'm going to do is get ready to cut out my leafy branch, and I'm going to colour the paper though before I cut it. I'm going to put double-sided tape on both sides of this card, because on one side I'm going to add luscious powders and they will stick nicely to this double-sided tape, and the other side needs to be sticky so I can adhere it down. Before I die cut it though, I'm going to add the luscious powders and some gilding flakes. Now I want this to be greeny because it's leafy and branchy. I want to add some gold, and I'm using green and teal, so it will hopefully have a bit of a verdigris look to it. And to get a nice random assortment of gold on my sticky here, I'm just going to tear this up and drop it on in a few places. Not too much because I still want room for the luscious powders, but I want a bit everywhere, well the full length of this, because then I can make sure there's a nice distribution on the final die cut. So I think we'll start with green, and we'll just pop it here and there. Don't need an awful lot of this, and I'm going to spread some of that out a bit now that I've sprinkled it everywhere. Not going to squash down my gilding flakes just yet. And now for the teal. I'll pop this where there are gaps. And a nice random-ish distribution again. That's probably enough. So now I'm going to go in and spread all that colour around, squash down my gilding flakes. Make sure all of that double-sided is covered, because between the gilding flakes and the luscious powders, that will take away all the sticky. Now I'll just sweep that over with this sweeper brush. Get rid of the excess, and now I'm going to gently, because I don't want to pull up the adhesive or disrupt that nice bit of luscious powder, I'm going to gently burnish the gold to flatten it, to give that lovely gilded look. So I want to pop this on here, making sure I catch lots of gold all the way down, and making sure my whole die is within the borders so I don't accidentally lose any. I'll take that down and then run it through my mini Gemini. So there's my lovely shimmery gold verdigris type leaf thing. Next I want to use the same die to cut an aperture in my front panel, because I'm going to inlay that into my front panel. So I've got my T-square ruler here. I think I want it a little bit lower than that, about there, and over to the left a bit, and that leaves all this space, nice empty white space, and I will run that through my die cutting machine. So now we can pop that out of there. I want to keep the little bits in here because they'll need to go back in when I do my inlaying. But I want to pop this up on foam, and I'll add this all the way around the edge. And around here to support the panel in the middle. And I'm going to put a sliver of foam on some of these bits that have the potential to flop down. I find the easiest way for me to get slivers of craft foam is to cut at a diagonal. Don't know why that is, it just seems to work for me. I think that's enough, so I'm going to peel all that off and get that stuck to my card base. Now for my colourful branch, I'm going to put this in and carefully go along. This has got double-sided on the back, remember, so it's already sticky. I'm going to go through and pop that in the holes and get it as accurately positioned as possible. I could have not bothered die cutting this out and just coloured a panel to go behind this, but I like, with this particular die, I like to sort of see the curvature, the beveled edges of the leaves and branch. I think it adds a little bit of interest. It's not flat behind the aperture. And then I want to pop these little bits, these, I don't know what you call them, bits, back in. And they are still in here. So I need a bit more craft foam. I've got a tiny little bit left here, and I'll stick those on there. And we can pop them exactly where they should be, because we've now got that die cut there, so we know where these bits go. So there we have our die cut inside our panel. I hope you can see the gorgeous gold and the luscious powders all shimmering away there, and the dimension that that die cut has, even though it's recessed into the panel. I think that looks gorgeous. Now it's time to colour the butterfly. I've cut the butterfly wings and a butterfly body out of smooth white cardstock for some ink blending. I've also cut it out of vellum for some, well, I guess for an ethereal feel. So I'm popping that on my grip mat to keep it relatively still while I do my ink blending. I'm using spun sugar. I love this colour. It's so light and delicate, and I think perfect for butterflies and an ethereal feel. So I want to blend mostly, actually if I do it that way it'd be a bit easier, the outer part with a fade towards the middle. So I'm going to come in here, whoops, quite heavy. Even though I'm putting loads of ink on and applying quite a lot of pressure, it's still a very light colour. I keep this blending brush for spun sugar only. All my other ones I'll chop and change. Well, I'll keep the blue brush for a variety of blues and the purple brush for a variety of purples, but this is my spun sugar only brush because it's such a light colour. I don't want to contaminate it with anything else, but I think that will do. So that's a nice gentle application of colour with a fade to white in the middle. The butterfly body I'm just going to go over with the spun sugar, giving it a bit more on its body and less on its antenna. I think that will do nicely. Now for my vellum butterfly, I'm going to add gilding flakes to this, the same gilding flakes I used in the background to keep the gold consistent. And this is a Crafter's Companion glue, and it's like the Zig two-way glue pens. The reason I'm using this today is because this is the size nib that I want to use, and it's the only pen that I've got in that size nib. So I've just added a bit up here, a bit here, a bit here and a bit here, and some in the middle going down the veins of the butterfly. It's stuck to my finger. And I don't want any harsh edges, so using my finger I'm just going to splodge on those areas to hopefully make it look a bit more natural and less blocky. Right, we'll give that a minute to dry. So I'll just plonk that on all over the butterfly, and it should just stick to where the glue is. I'm going to use a little detail brush just to get the big bits of flake off, get into the gaps there in between the veins. And I can use this little sponge to burnish and get rid of any straggly overhangs and press those gilding flakes down so they're really flat and have that gilded look. And I can turn that over and that will help get rid of all the straggly overhangs. So now I'm going to stick this all together. I'm going to put the gilded vellum on top of the pink butterfly, but only adhere it in the middle along the body so that the wings lift up and you can see the pink below. So there are three little tiny glue dots, and we can line this up or we can offset it slightly and plonk that down like that. And we've got a little flappy butterfly there, pink and gold. Now for the body, I think we'll just use this glue. Put a few dobs on there, pop that on there. That'll take a few minutes to stick, but we can add it to a card. I'm thinking here, and I've got a birthday greetings sentiment here, like that, or maybe like that, so it's all nestled together, but no, I think like that. So I'm going to pop some glue on the back of this, just a bit of tacky glue. I'm going to adhere the pink part of the butterfly down completely flat against the card. Up there. Oop, the body's come off. I said that would take a few minutes to dry. Let's get that back on there. Maybe we'll try some tacky glue. At least that will keep it in place while it dries. It won't shift around so much. Now I want to give my butterfly body a bit of shine and dimension, so I'm going to put some glossy accents on the head, the thorax and the abdomen. And that definitely will take a while to dry, but it will give a nice bit of roundness and shine. So I've got my sentiment here. I'm going to pop that up on some foam because I think it needs to stand off the page a little bit. needs to go around the butterfly. It seems to fit nicely. Let's see, is that straight? Yes, that'll do. So I was wondering about creating some faux enamel dots just to add a few around and about, and I thought about using this. I've got these dies, they're part of an edging die set, and they give me 1, 2, 3, 4 different sizes of circles when I die cut from them. So I think I might have a go at that and see what we can get. We only need a few, so we just need to run that through my mini Gemini, I think. They're sticky on the back because I stuck double-sided tape on them. Come on, get off. My tweezers are a bit sticky, I think. Right, I think that one is done and dusted. I'm really pleased with the way that's turned out. I love all the shimmer and shine and the colour and the dimension of the recessed die cut. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and maybe it's given you some ideas of what to do with similar dies that you might have in your stash. If it has, please do all those good things that everyone asks you to do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, because that does help my videos get seen by other people. And I will see you back here for day 19 of Die Cut December tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.